And as always, we'll heavily rely on iRacing yellows. Here it's tricky at Dover. It's very fast, very close quarters here. We'll do our best to let iRacing do its thing, but if we see something on track that we see as potential for disaster on the racing surface, we will throw a yellow if need be. Out of an abundance of caution.
Welcome in, everybody.
Besides that, let's have a good race, have a fun race. Let's be careful, very slippery. Let's get in the groove here, get in rhythm, and have some good racing.
It's race number 9 here of the ISRC.
New fastest lap for Stovall, 22.80.
I'm going to do my best to make sure I don't pull a me a few seasons ago with that one incident on the front stretch.
But yeah, we didn't race last week. We had an off week, so we're back at it again. This is race number 5 of the season here at Dover Motor Speedway. We're sitting 15th in the points standings right now.
Fastest lap for Stovall, 22.78.
Just looking for a good solid finish here, hopefully. Gain some points here. I think the cutoff for this year is 12 to make the playoffs. Changed the point system all around here, so it's completely different. But we're gonna have 170 laps around this joint.
Just 2 minutes left. 2 minutes to go.
It's loose. So
new fastest lap for Stovall, 22.73.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, back out of here this week, and it's a special pet themed race. Just trying to get my damn scheme to load here. So we got our doggo on the truck here. So hopefully we can come away with a good finish. But appreciate y'all tuning in like always. We're up to 82 subscribers on the channel here on YouTube.
One quick thing also, when you're exiting pit road, if you're exiting pit road in the green, call it out, just
go bump those
careful,
numbers up,
let everybody know you're pitting out, and just be safe re-entry.
Yeah. Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah. Forgot I had my mic on open, but hey, that's all right.
I was going to try to find a good time to butt in. I wasn't going to interrupt.
Thank you. Well, I'll just leave it on open. Fuck it. I'm going to try to get my damn paint scheme to load.
It was a week too late for me, so I just said screw it and...
Oh, there it goes. Just loaded. Hell yes. All's right with the world. Except for the high prices of everything.
Except, I mean, everything, all is right in the world, except for everything that's left.
Ah. He's right, you know.
Oh, we're probably gonna... Let's all die. Woo!
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to say the least. Alright. Let's do it.
Race. We'll see if all 30 take the grid as your starting grid here tonight. Going to be your 5th different pole sitter in his first time this season. It's the 12 of Presley Sora taking the top of the board. Going to be on his outside. It's the 15 of Vincent Sora, the season 1 champ, the veteran of the series. Watch out for Vinny here this evening. Driver that has won multiple times in the ISRC Truck Series, the most winning driver
also,
of the
everyone,
series.
I'm pretty sure the pace lap is still 1 lap, so it'll be a quick turnaround to the green.
Trip jump going to be starting in 4th place with John Forbes in 5th. Justin Campbell down in 6th position, 12th in points. CDs continue on that run with Thomas Green 7th. Joshua Stovall, my pick, going to be starting in 8th place. 9th is Larry Yingling, and finishing out our top 10, it's the 24 of Ollie Fonseca.
Starting in the 11th position. position, it's going to be the 10 truck of Jared Talmadge. Alongside him in 12th, it's going to be last week's winner, or 2 weeks ago winner from Road America, Nick Crawford. In 13th position, it's going to be the 25 of Cody Reed with Samuel Garcia qualifying 14th. 15th in qualifying is going to be the 2 of Danny Cochran. Alongside him in 16th is going to be the 17 of Mason Cassidy. 17th position is going to be the 53 of Eric Stamp, with 18th in qualifying going to Tyler Dingler. 19th is going to be the 30 of Christopher Norris, and rounding out our top 20 is Molly Cooks.
Looks like you need to
Down in 21st is the 0-1 of Aaron Kralik. 22nd position is the 13 of Cedric Hunter. Hunter's got a lot of work to go through this field. Watch out, 13 does so. Also in 23rd position is the 6 of Justin Smith. Returning after missing majority of the start of the season is the 87 of Talon Drake. In 25th, we find the 8 machine of Mark Morales Jr. Dakota Moniz will fall to 26th position. Michael Miller shocked on that rookie's fall back. We'll see how Miller climbs his way forward. He'll start 27th. Jesse Thornock, not a great qualifying time for himself. He'll be back in 28th. 29th, it is Joshua Freed, and not putting in a time, but we'll be back at the end of the field. In 30th, it's the 4 of Justin Forbes. These drivers get ready. It's going to be a quick, just one lap around, and then we get ourselves ready for racing action. Zach, it is 170 laps, but skate break at lap 50. What are you expecting to see from these drivers, though, in these first 50 laps?
Well, I talked to a few of them, Sam, and a lot of them were not feeling the normal condition of, oh, I want to save tires here like you normally hear at Dover. They were saying track position is everything. So in this first 50 laps, I think you're going to see a lot of drivers push the limit of the truck and trying to figure out if that's going to be able to last and really know if that's going to work after the stage break. So we could see some comers and goers, so to say, if a few of these guys start falling off from pushing so hard.
Kind of funny to see that second row. You've got the 77 of Mark Whitley, his spotter being Brentley, and for the 46 of Trenton Jump, it's his pet. It'll be his Dawg of Brentley on the side of that vehicle. We'll see how well that second row can take off, but it's the front row, the brothers. We've been waiting for this moment for a while. Will Presley, Vinny, who's going to get the better launch? Starting positions on the 12 when we take off and go as we are green for the big dog dash by Jack and Archie. Down into turn number 1. Vincent Sora, though, gets the better run. It just looked like the 12 never was able to hit the throttle. Just kept on wheel spinning. They still loose coming off of turn number 2.
Sorry, Sora putting the power down. That's going to stack up that inside line, but Presley Sora having a little bit of a trouble there off the exit of 2. He's actually sliding out. A little loose. He's going to save it, but somehow we all keep it together as the exit
and more drivers caught up into it. Stoffel and others continue to pile in. We got some gridlock action for a quick moment.
Yeah, I saw it.
Drivers caught up in this. Stovall, Presley Sora, and John Forbes are the ones that go around.
Truck covered in smoke at cars.
Oh, man, Sam, and that just shows you what happens
doesn't
here.
look bad from here. At least the back of it doesn't.
One little rolling effect mistake from the 12 with Presley Sora here. Gets a little loose. Backs everything up on the inside down the back straightaway. Then he's going to go off into 3 here. He's going to get loose, but he's also going to play on hard. As you can see, he doesn't do it here on this replay, but a lot of people like every time he gets loose, he's right here with a little bit. And we're still there trying to miss what's happening ahead of him.
Everything's great, right?
They could not. And Michael Miller, Christopher Norris, able to avoid that incident.
Hey, John, we're getting in the back of you right there. I'll look in my mirror.
John Forbes ahead of him again, trying to avoid where the 12 was. Wasn't sure where he was. It just snaps loose. Not a lot you can do here, and just nowhere to go. And being an innocent victim in that incident, and already 2 of our picks, major damage, Stovall, but ending and going into pit road, Cedric Hunter and John Forbes. If we're able to go back to that replay, Cedric Hunter, major damage, actually was ran over while trying to check up for that incident, was taken out by the rear bumper. Talon Drake was able to slow down in time. Incidences where, you know, after the major effect, we find ourselves with drivers getting in contact.
Sounds like he has a lag.
Definitely does, where just someone gets slowed down, others don't, and we'll get to see here possibly
like a robot there the whole time.
Play out as you can see here off the exits here. Everything's stacked up ahead of course. When you're back here in this position, you're just trying to make clips and kind of fill yourself out, and then the wreck's going to start to happen now.
Am I still beeping and booping?
Right here on the exit, noticing that
you sounded good that time.
Clog up, and then Drake doesn't get checked up and put Cedric Hunter into that outside wall. and that's some quick right front.
Domo arigato, Mr. Rivato.
Gonna get those repairs done and back out on track. Again, it's whenever we see these wheels get in the wall on a bad angle, that's when we see broken issues happen to these vehicles. On the trucks, the next gens, and even on the Xfinities whenever we were able to cover them in the past. But 4 drivers enter pit road for service, that being Presley Sora, John Forbes, Joshua Stovall, and Cedric Hunter. And already just on lap 1, trouble strike, proving how difficult this track can be. But the blinking issues for Presley, it seemed like it wasn't just the car being loose.
Let's see what happens on this restart.
There were other issues that were influencing that 12 to have those issues kind of build up even bigger than they should have been.
That's for sure. And I tell you what, I mean, the joys of going from pole position to pretty much dead last on the field with a destroyed nose. So
wait, when's the stage again?
Is a tough break. I mean, same for John Forbes. He was just trying to miss on that slide.
Once everyone gets spread out, you know,
the
see if you
77
can get
Whitley
loose
and kind of
and
help
save
him go
it.
around.
That's the problem.
And that just
all
one major stack up like that, and you take out multiple contenders, and now the perplexion of the race is completely changed.
And now it's going to be Vincent Sora, Trent Jump, Justin Campbell, Mark Whitley going to be your front 4, getting ready for this restart. Jump's going to be on the outside. We saw Presley Sora not able to really get that launch he was looking for on the inside. We'll see if Vincent Sora gets a much better launch, or will we learn the outside's where you want to be on these restarts? Again, thank you for joining with us. Weren't able to complete lap number 1. As off the exit, turn 4 had to go into yellow. We'll see here on this restart, though, if we can stay green for longer than a lap, as Vincent Sora, Trent Jump get ready to enter that restart zone for the big dog. Bad dash by Jack and Archie as we are green, and Vincent Sora gets clean launch. He's already clear of Trent Jump as we head down into turn number 1. A couple of drivers deking in and out, trying to find openings to advance forward, but it's all the 15 off the exit of turn 1.
Vincent Sora there, another great restart, putting the power down, while now the drivers behind him once again battle. But it's Justin Campbell looking to the inside of the 46 of Trent Jump with Mark Whitley right in there behind him with the 18 of Thomas Green. As the top 5 start to break away, you see a side-by-side action throughout much of the field.
The drivers again further on back, trying to get themselves in line if possible, or find ways to attack 4 passes. But up front, it is still all Vincent Sora, but the heavy pressure from Mark Whitley on the outside, giving pressure from second place, as it's Mark Whitley, Trent Jump, trying to solidify who's in second position, as Mark Whitley slicing down, thought he was getting loose, but somehow holds on and almost had a chance to dive down to a chance for the lead.
Like I said, I didn't think a lot of drivers were going to save tires here with the way the condition of the track is, with Thomas Green there and Trent Jump almost coming together off the exit of 2. That's going to slow up Trent Jump and drop him back to the 5th position, battling with the likes of Justin Campbell. But yeah, I think Whitley here trying everything in his power to get clean air. I think Vincent Sora knows that clean air is going to be critical. These 2 are going to battle super hard.
That puff of smoke was from an incident of before of Justin Forbes, who spun on his own. He stayed green even with that spin. And now it's going to be the top dogs, the best rivalry from season 1. Vincent Sora, Mark Whitley, they're back at it as Mark Whitley tries to march on the outside. He'll get the run. He'll stay side by side as they drag race into turn number 1.
Norse direct.
Loving this action. It's Thomas Green who's just inking closer and closer to our top 2 as they were fighting side by side. But now it's Mark Whitley with the most dominant position he can be, but right behind it's Christopher Norris in the 38, all the way down in 26th position, as well as Presley Sora and a couple of others making after the spin.
Forbes or
Oh no, bad case there for the 38 of Christopher Norris. I think a little bit of help here, guys, from what I've seen. It looks like maybe a net code, but it looks like maybe a little help.
Has anyone else seen anything codes? I've had a stable connection the whole time.
We're trying to get a look
on my end.
here.
Hey, thanks for the follow there, bud.
Blimp view to get a better look at it, but you see Presley Sora kind of spinning out to try to avoid going into Christopher Norris. From the brake bias, it is difficult to slow down immediately when you slam on the brakes, but here's going to be your top view. Hopefully this can give us the angle, as it's kind of a tough part of the track for all the cameras to kind of give us the best shot of this. But Zach, I think you might have been dead on the fact that it was slight net code that got Norris squeezed, but it was going to be close either way.
It was going to definitely be close either way, but yeah, I think definitely some net code playing a little
Sign
bit
me
of
up,
effect
coach.
there, but that's tough for Christopher Norris. And like you said, Presley Sora came in there sliding. Luckily, he doesn't hit anything, but yeah, a little bit of a hit there to the left front of that 38. But I think he should be all right. From looking at it, doesn't seem like it's scuffed up that truck too badly here. So we'll get another look from the rear cam. Looks the truck.
It's Christopher Norris trying to run his own pace and looked like for talent. He was getting in the throttle sooner, felt a lot more confident. Norris on the inside, not as confident, and it's tap spun, and there goes the 12. As with the timing of this yellow allows a couple of drivers to think to hit pit road. Shockingly, Nick Crawford took a lot of gamble and risk after he got his win last season, and he came away with 6 wins in total with these type of gamble moves. Hitting this caution, tires, fuel is the 74 will start the end of this line.
Banner, cat car.
That is going to be a tall task for him to come back from, doing that, but we'll see. Nick Crawford always
for anyone that watches NFL, the Niners are currently beating the Jets.
To call this the right way, Sam.
Excellent. What's the score?
Also giving time for Christopher Norris to get repairs done. Presley Sora, Josh
Rogers made it more than 3 snaps
who were
tonight.
heavily involved in our first caution. They're able to get even more damage repair. Try to get those machines to at least a working function to be competitive here tonight, to maybe salvage a top 15, maybe even a top 10 if they're lucky.
Eagles,
here this evening. It's still early in the race. Luckily, when you have it below the engine, if you get damage, you're still in the fight. So these drivers know the race is not completely over. I mean, Zach, we've seen this even for Cedric Hunter, who came away with the win this past Wednesday in the WSSR. Had an early issue, but came away with the win.
Hell no.
Some of these drivers, sometimes they need that wake-up call of, oh no, I'm in that incident, to finally get in that mode of a winning factor.
It really can wake you up, and just really anything in a race can change. You could go from just not having very good pace, and then all of a sudden things play out where you're actually in a perfect position to win the race. So, you got to take the race as it goes, and you can't get too down on yourself. But you having those moments of reflection of like, man, that can't happen again. It is a good thing, but you can't let it get you too down, like I'm saying, because it can really affect just your confidence of how you drive. And we'll see now if a few of those guys have some fire lit underneath them, or that's going to affect their confidence and maybe just take their day down a notch. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think these two in the front row, when we get it back going, they're going to be fighting hard once again.
Drivers are itching to get rolling as we've been stacked 2 by 2. The base car lights did not click off. That we are waiting for that. That will be your indication that we have 1 to go here this evening. And this is only race 5 of the regular season. We still have ourselves plenty of regular season races to go before they enter the playoffs, where drivers are hoping to hoist that Season 7 championship. Some of the favorites being up front here this evening with Mark Whitley, Vincent Sora, Thomas Green with the way he ran last season. Also seeing Justin Campbell, one of our final 4 contenders from last season, hoping for a good run. Some drivers, though, that with the early incidences have slotted themselves inside of our top 10. Sam Garcia now going to be up to 9th. Danny Cochran, after his poor qualifying run, is up to 10th place. And Cody Reed as well, going to be one of those drivers that's now up to 8th position and hoping to continue on. I want to say thank you to all those that have been commenting in the chat. We adore you guys. We say thank you to those that interact. If you're enjoying the broadcast here this evening, remember to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to be notified when we go live 4 times a week, Monday through Thursday. As it's Mark Whitley, Vincent Sora, stacked 2 by 2. We're about to go back to green flag racing here this evening, as it is Mark Whitley going to be ready to take off and go for the 77 machine. This is where he's at his strongest, is when he's leading the race into the restart zone, and already going to be a half a car length ahead as the big dog dash by Jack and Archie is underway, as the drivers up front all have to run down this Harpoon Designs machine.
Great start from Whitley out front, and that allows Vincent Sora to slide into second, but it's the battle for third. Justin Campbell, now Thomas Green, and along with the 24 Fonseca, all these drivers battling for third position on back, looking to try to get some of that track position to challenge these top 2.
Ollie Fonseca here tonight. He might have had his dogs be the sponsor of tonight's race, but on the truck, he's got his new little kitty. It's Sox trying to woo the 24 back into victory lane. Ollie Fonseca got his first ever win.
Incoming 98 wreck, I'm sure soon.
All the way back in Season 3 for the ISRC Truck Series. He would love to get another victory. He's performed so well here at Dover in the past, and right now watching that great battle for third place is Campbell, Green. They figure out that it's going to be the 9 for now, as Mark Whitley, fastest lap of the race so far, gets put down by the 77.
He is out there putting down some laps right now, that's for sure, Sam. He is not willing to wait one bit at all, and we'll see if that comes back to bite him a little bit, or does it play into his favor. I mean, like I said, few drivers felt like that was going to be the way to go. We'll see if that is the proper way to go to say here. As we look at Jared Thomas right now, he's in the 8th position. He's seeing
like
the
Cedric having a bad time.
Third still rage on with Campbell and Green, but it seems like he straightens out for the time being.
Trouble though for some vehicles that are out on track. Yellow flag will be thrown, and it's Cedric Hunter and Marvin Morales Jr. Collision on the front stretch. It was the 8 spun around initially, and Cedric Hunter piling aggressively there at the end.
He's still back here. He's in 21st.
A tough sight to see here is just a simple mistake.
Probably having the worst race start.
Going down through 1 and 2, battling for position. And he's going to have Nick Crawford, who is on those pressure tires, trying to work his way around the outside here down in the 3. And John's going to drive up in the 3 really deep inside of the track, and then right here it's going to get loose. And this is what's going to cause him to slide. He's going to try to catch it bring it back on the track. Then he's going to bring it back left. And I think right there, that back left moment caught Cedric Hunter off guard because he was pointing to that left side and just things quickly closed the door from there.
Cedric Hunter comes piling in. It just was nowhere to go. Caution wasn't going to be thrown until John Forbes came driving on by. The drivers couldn't slow, but here's to the right on. Top of the 13. Sees a driver spin, sees smoke, goes to clearance, and there's the car just when he goes down to try to avoid smoke.
I don't think you hit anybody, but
for some drivers, they'll see that there's oncoming traffic and instinctually they're going to drop down low, get out of the way. But the driver that's coming to the incident, they're thinking, okay, that car's going to move in a kind of predictable pattern. When you see an unpredictable pattern, usually you're caught up in a mess.
That's for sure. Unpredictability usually leads to
oh yeah, you definitely did get a free
and the
spot
caution
there.
went
You were
down
not
until that pretty much happens right there. And then, yeah, I mean, for him, he thought it looked like the 8 was going to stay up top, and the 8 kind of comes back left.
Really does work.
That is pretty much night over for the 13.
Damn armadillos.
That is some hard contact to be dealing with, and for Cedric Hunter, second time with required damage, and that might be this night ender for the Hello Kitty 13 machine. So we get ourselves prepared for this restart. There's a couple of other vehicles out there running some special schemes for themselves. Running in 8th place for the 10 machine, Jared Talmadge. He's actually going to be driving a scheme with his going to be cat muffins on the 10.
That's all right.
There's muffins on the 10 machine. A couple of other drivers showing off. I think probably the most unique one of them all might be in 12th place. Eric Stamp has a couple of different going to be pets on these vehicles. You've got Monkey on the back. You've got Tootsie on the back rear lid. And then on the hood is actually some friends' dogs that he has just there that are hanging out with 53 on the top in numbers. A little bit of homage, I would say, to one of our drivers that we cover on Wednesday nights, that being Brian McCann, who's got his numbers on the side and on the top of his vehicle.
That's for sure. Putting the word, version of the number out there. So that's definitely always interesting to see. And yeah, he's got plenty of pets on that truck. So hopefully they keep that truck nice and safe and keep it nice and green like it is here tonight.
And we talked about Nick Crawford during qualifying. Here is the Carl and Howard machine, as you've got the pug on the side. Nick Crawford, so proud of his pets that he has out there on track. I know another scheme out there that's got some pets on there. In 18th place, Dakota Moniz is showing off Sunshine on that Turn 5 machine. I know a couple of these schemes look similar, designed by Danny Cochran, giving out some help for some of the drivers. And I know some drivers proud of their partly throwback schemes, because we've had the Big Dog Dash by Jack and Archie in the past. In 24th, caught up in earlier incidences, we also have Christopher Norris running his special scheme, as Norris has Ashley on that machine on the rear and also on the hood. As we get ourselves prepared for racing, there's a few other machines that we might check out later on here tonight, but we got to get ourselves prepared for this launch. We're going to be having, again, Mark Whitley in control with Vincent Sword on the outside, but Mark Whitley decided to go on the inside groove on this restart. And we'll see how well this restart goes for the 77. As Vincent Soar, Thomas Green, Justin Campbell get prepared to follow in suit. Thank you so much for joining with us. See Barney Flagman switching flags. It is time for another restart, another attempt. Can we stay green, or will we need a couple of more yellows? Stage break at the end of lap 50. We're almost halfway there. As here we go. Mark Whitley takes us to the green. Not as quick as a launch that maybe he was hoping for. They're almost still sideways for the lead, going through 1 and 2.
Vincent Sword almost able to get to the right rear quarter panel of that 77 there on that restart. Like you said, very close actually. Whitley would have definitely hoped for more there, but down the back straightaway, Campbell trying to fight off the likes of the 18 and Thomas Green. We've seen that battle for multiple restarts now. Is Fonseca also right there in tow, but looks like Campbell a little bit into the outside wall, and that's how quick things can happen here at Dover, just climbing out of these giant corners.
These corners from the top of the track to the bottom of the apex, the highest to lowest, it is 3 stories in length, and it is a long drop. Drivers love to use the gravity, but it also can be tricky, especially off the exit of the corner. When you go from these extreme banks to a slightly less bank, you can see the wiggles that these drivers deal with. It is very much unsettling each and every corner you take for these vehicles that wouldn't transfer. It's a lot, as we're seeing the likes of Thomas Green and others just continue to try to have a handful off the exit of the corner as we're halfway through this stage. With the amount of restarts we've had, these tires are pretty cooled off. And Zach, I'm curious if maybe that's maybe causing a little bit of a factor here on these restarts on why we're seeing so much movement from these drivers.
That's for sure, Sammy, especially with the conditions the way they've been tonight here with the overcast, now mostly cloudy conditions. It's been a track that I think cold tires are kind of tough to deal with, you know, because just the colder conditions with the concrete. So we'll get to see exactly what the weather is here. It's going to be, I think, something that we talk about as the day goes on, because earlier it wasn't.
Man, I'm dropping like a fucking rock right now.
Started to move out here as we'll take a look at the weather.
As the weather conditions for tonight, going to be 74 degrees Fahrenheit. The track temp just raising up to 89 Fahrenheit. The wind staying pretty stable at 6. And the humidity, thank goodness, is down at 36 degrees. I mean, 36%, meaning that we can see these trucks clearly here this evening. I know we've had a couple of fog races in the past, so it's always nice to get out just a cloudy day, not a foggy day. As those weather conditions are going to be taking a look at maybe later on as Martin Morales Jr. for another time goes around, bringing out another caution here this evening.
Oh no, the monster is collecting its victims multiple times, like you said, for Martin, so that's tough for him, and just a simple mistake running by himself back there off the exit of 2, and it's so easy to do. I heard a lot of people say 2 is going to be a trouble spot, and it definitely was for Martin.
It's going to be off the exit turn 2, and having one driver behind them. That was the oncoming traffic that brought out the yellow flag. But just snapping loose already off 4, and you could just tell the handling is really gone. Martin was already dealing with handling issues to this point after being hit by Cedric Hunter, and the Yates just continues to fall away, overcorrects, and away he goes, bouncing off the wall to push them back out on track, and that's what brings out another caution here this evening. Speaking about Cedric Hunter, he has called in tonight, left the server on that last restart as we resettle, get stacked up, and this is that interesting caution where if you're gonna take a strategy call of maybe pitting for tires, this would be the caution to take it.
Yeah, this would definitely be that caution to try something. I think with all these restarts and everything happening, I don't think you're gonna see many do it. I mean, you know, Nick Crawford did come down there for his pit stop. It was a 14.9 second stop, so I don't know if he, I mean, that is technically what about a 4-tire stop would be. I don't know if he was just sitting on fuel, just waiting, maybe with some damage, but if he took tires, he's really not made the inroads I think he would have hoped to see.
No, not at this moment. I think also the hard thing, there's just not green enough to even give it a chance at this moment for all the strategy calls, but a couple of drivers did pit for tires being led by Tyler Dangler, also having Dakota Moniz enter pit road to get service done for themselves. So we'll see if those strategy calls work out for those drivers. As Tyler Dangler, you can see on screen running the Barbie scheme. This is a tribute to Lindsay, who won the Better Half Dash for the third time. Three times they've had Better Half Dashes, kind of on off weeks for the truck series. The significant others, girlfriends,
can we get a caution count
also
update?
letting sometimes brothers and fathers out there on track and give chances to test out their skills on iRacing. And Lindsay with the win with the Barbie machine. So Tyler said, you know what, I'll run the scheme here at Dover as the field gets ready to pace for a couple of more laps. This is going to be a shootout here on this run. And I'm curious, Zach, we see it now. If Mark Whitley was going to just go back up to the top after that last restart.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do that. So looks like he's gonna, at least down the straightaway right now, he's electing to stay up high. So we'll see if he restarts on the higher side. But yeah, last time not the greatest start for him, where Vince Toro was able to stay on the outside, because that's your worst nightmare. If the reason why I think he's gonna move to his top side too is just because if you do have Vince Toro getting a good enough start, he's on the bottom side of you. And what we've seen tonight a lot of times, coming off the exit of the corner, it's very tough for that truck on the bottom to be able to hold the rear end and not slide out as they come off the exit. So it really gives that outside a big advantage. So no surprise, I think, to see Whitley pull immediately to that top side here for this restart.
Not at all, as drivers from the 9 Dime Motorsports team, Malik Kuntz and Justin Smith, they're actually part of the biggest movers so far this evening. 12th and 13th on the ticker so far, and Justin Smith up 10 positions. Our biggest mover so far, kind of avoiding a lot of the carnage, is the 6 machine. So they'll try to continue on their way forward as the field is stacked up. We're getting ready to go this time by. For those that want to watch more broadcasts from us here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, again, we cover 3 other series besides Monday night. We cover the Challenger Racing Series on Tuesday nights, and the Next Gens, they follow the actual NASCAR schedule of the races that were ran the previous Sunday. And then on a Wednesday, currently in the playoffs, the hunt to see who's going to take the championship. We have the WSSR in their next-gen vehicles racing again on a Wednesday night. And then Thursday, running the Next Gens, but in the open setup category, we've got the Shoney's Doghouse Cup Series, as they're still in the early portions of their season. So those are some of the other series you can check out, but here tonight, it is Mark Whitley, Vincent Soar going to be on your restart. For those Joseph Stovall fans out there, he's currently still on the recovery run. It's up to 23rd position after getting his damage repair. Green flag is back in the air. The big dog dash by Jack and Archie is back underway, and it's Mark Whitley with a much cleaner restart for himself off the exit of turn 2.
Much better restart for Mark Whitley. He immediately was able to clear Vincent Soar and had a clear track heading down into one, but now it looks like it's going to be the likes of Ali Fonseca, Trenton Jump battling back there for 5th and 6th, along with Thomas Green for 4th. So it always seems like from 3rd on back is where the battles start, but it seems like they've single filed out now.
Trying to keep it a little bit neat and tidy. Trenton Jump in the 46. He gets in the grazing into the wall. You see there off the exit turn 4, backed off, gave the position Ali Fonseca for 5th place. But for Trent Jump, look, he's got an ally behind him. That's his Armadillo's teammate of Eric Stamp, as they try to work as one to see where Ali Fonseca will try to attack with the 24, as Ali with Sox riding on board, trying to get by the 18, but just not able to really. Looks like there's no pressure at the moment for Ali. He seems pretty satisfied with just running in 5th place.
That he does. It seems like he's kind of content, like so to say. So that's a good stage point. Hey, I mean, if anything, you finish top 5 here at Dover in the stages, that is a huge benefit. I mean, like we talked about, Ali's past winner here. He loves this racetrack, so I think he's sitting right where he wants to be for when this stage break comes up to see if he has something to run these guys down late in this going. But right now, single file out for the majority of the top 10 as everybody's trying to get into those stage positions.
Ali Fonseca, part of Team Watson, FTB, make their way forward. Also other drivers part of that team, Martin Morales, Mason Cassidy, and Samuel Garcia, which Garcia, and one's a driver that has been trying to move forward at this current moment, has fallen outside of the top 10, kind of in just salvage mode at this moment, as some of the other drivers that are getting mixy with one another. You've got the 87 of Talon trying to make their way
I don't know,
forward.
man. I don't know that new tires are really all that worth
Nick
it.
Crawford, who took fresh tires, that was 26 laps ago, trying to figure out how to get by the likes of Larry Yingling, Christopher Norris, and Samuel Garcia to crack into our top 15.
So it takes a while to come
right
around.
on this inside line. He's got Aaron Trelick to his outside. Talon right here, as you can see right behind him, Larry Yingling in front. And yeah, those fresher tires haven't been able to do much. It was almost contact between the 01 and the 74s. He had a big wiggle, had to gather that up, and now he'll be side by side with Talon Drake for 18th. So the tire's not doing any benefit.
And for you Stovall fans, Joshua Stovall has now entered the picture into this fight we were watching as the 42. Now as you're right on board, watching this great duel between Drake and Crawford. As Stovall's trying to figure out, do you go left, do you go right? It looks like just stay in line for now and trying to set up to get by Crawford, which Crawford, even with those fresher tires, doesn't look like the aggression level is there as we're closing in to 10 laps to go left in this stage. And if you want stage bonus points, this is the time to go because you're losing out on attempts to make passes.
That's exactly right, Sam. You never know. A caution could come out at any moment, and if we're past lap 45 when it comes out, that's going to be the stage. So we're, really could be less than 3 to 4 laps away from that stage call. So you got to get everything you can here and get some spots if you're hoping to move forward.
And trying to move forward and using every bit of this truck, Malik Coates able to push the 53 of Eric Stamp wide. Stamp goes into the outside wall for a quick moment and giving drivers chances to slash down and get by the 53 as Stamp was looking for some good stage bonus points and instead will fall outside of the top 10. Now giving chances to move up, going to be Mason Cassidy as well as Jared Talmadge trying to crack into our top 10, and Talmadge now up to 10. And watch out for the Go Mason machine. Mason Cassidy with one of his better long run positions with Justin Smith right behind trying to get by Stamp.
That he is. Mason Cassidy trying to make this pass on Stamp to have an opportunity to go up here and battle Jared Talmadge right in front of him, and Cassidy does get it done. Now Stamp's going to be under fire. Justin Smith shoots to the inside of the 6 machine. So big maneuvers being made here as it's close the door-to-door action as they do finally touch on the exit of 4.
That's not usually a good sign, and Smith trying to make sure he didn't continue to run that 53 up into the outside wall, cranks the steering wheel, almost throws away his race, but losing massive track position as Stamp goes from, not Stamp, but Smith falls all the way down outside of the top 25 when he once was battling inside the top 15. Now back to watching the action right behind Stamp. This is for 13 to 14.
Holy
as
shit.
Stamp gets into the wall, Norris tries to scoot his way forward.
What a save.
Clear inside.
The 53 and everyone on the outside. Hold on tight because this isn't over yet. Kralik gets the slide, gets the assist to stay straight as the field gets a little mixy once again. Coming to the end of the stage, and if we get a caution now, that will be the stage. Kralik keeps it together, and same does everyone else.
Clear low.
Man, oh man, they came so close to Stamp again into the wall there off of 4 as everybody is getting very, very loose here as these trucks continue to worsen up with the balance, and we're going to see if we can even make it to lap 50 for that stage.
They just keep pushing tight into the outside wall, and those that just show a small sign, it just gets bigger and bigger each and every lap that trickles on by, and now Stamp almost the outside wall. Gonna be Jared Talmadge able to make a move. We hop on board Larry Yingling, who's able to slice his way down, but not able to hold steady. He has to back out quickly because here comes the rest of the field, keeping their foot in the throttle and making the pass on Yingling.
Oh man, if you're Yingling, you're in such a terrible spot now with the 5 on your door, the 12 coming, and everybody looking at conveyor belt around the outside as everybody on the inside just looks super loose.
They look loose and they continue to wiggle and slide, and you can see from that shot, willing to go 3 wide is Smith, giving a slight bumper to the 19 of Tyler Dangler and Presley Sora. Even with the damage he collected, the 12 now up to 19th position, working the outside groove, and it just seems to be a little bit more of a stable place for the drivers that are feeling that looseness here on the inside. You gotta be careful as they squeeze once again. Drake trying to push these drivers forward on the outside of the 87.
Oh man, the stack ups are huge right now as everybody right here in this position, they're not in position to get stage points, so the caution's not too far away. They just want spots, I guess. So track position very valuable for a few of these guys farther back who are fighting like it's the last lap.
Fighting for every little bit of this course as the leaders up front They've now crossed the line. This is the final lap of this stage. And for some drivers, they're happy it's over. For Vincent Sora and Justin Campbell, they almost get into one another for second place. But up front, it's all Mark Whitley. Whitley, stage win for the 77, and he's back where he's the most comfortable. That's fresh air on a concrete course.
You're like an asshole.
Winner of the stage here at Dover.
That outside took it, and then like
Also got to do a shout out. He drove his way from 15th to 5th, so that's a great stage run.
He fucking pinched me on the last corner, and I got sideways.
The biggest
Crash.
movers so far of 10 positions of those that were inside of the top 10. He is the biggest mover right now. Two drivers tied with the biggest movers position so far is Jesse Thornton and Josh Free. Here's how the points are going to be given out, with Mark Whitley getting those 10 bonus points for winning the stage. Vincent Sora 8 goes to Campbell, and the rest continue to divvy down. Fished outside of the top 10. Sorry, no stage bonus points for you, as Mark Whitley will enjoy those stage bonus points. With Mark Whitley not going to be in the Discord channel for us to pull up and talk to, this gives us a moment to step aside on our end. We will take our first commercial break of the evening. Great racing action. It was chaotic there in those final 10 laps. And that's just a small picture of what we expect to see for the rest of this race. Finally got some green flag racing. Love to see it. But for the ISRC Layer Productions Truck Series, race 5 for the Big Dog Dash by Jack and Archie. Will that green flag racing continue? Or are we going back to the early stages? Caution after caution. We'll find out right after this.
I used him up there that time.
Any side view?
Ayo?
North.
I don't know how you not beat there.
Me neither. I went 37 like a good minute.
Oh,
I wanted to beat the Yahoo truck out.
Speed is 45 miles per hour. The base car's in, turn 3.
bad actually. 79. I like that.
Yeah, bro. I was 96, 92 because I put on a new set.
Oh,
2001. The pace car is in.
But they were coming in there at the end, man. I feel like I could save it up. Delta.
I want to take the outside again.
Stage. Yeah, I'm usually not full throttle till like
12. In the inside
on the
column.
back.
Okay, Dakota, get ready. Race will resume at the end of this lap.
No, I don't want to be out here. I want to be at the bottom.
We need to let car number
Blink it a little
12
bit, Presley.
to pass.
Just letting you know that you blinked a couple times there.
Okay, let me know if it's happening in the green. Hey, instead of sponsoring your car, can we just raise money for a new processor for you and Vinny? Honestly, yeah, that might be more worth it. The thing's junk.
Yeah, I was asleep. I don't know what I was thinking about.
Still there. Still there. Hold that line. Outside's clear. Car high.
Looking pretty bad.
Hold the line. Still there.
Still.
Still there. Still there.
No.
Hold your line.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are
Still
back to
there.
green flag action for the big Dawg Dash by
Still
Jack
there.
and Archie, Dogs of Ali Fonseca. And
Still
currently
there.
it's Mark Whitley, your stage winner, taking the lead here on this restart. You got Justin Campbell, Thomas Green,
there.
Vincent Sora going to be back in 14th position.
Still there.
We're going to be back in 4th position, excuse me, as
Or
they
outside.
continue to try to stay single file out. A little bit different from the
there.
type of racing we saw coming to the end of the stage. Drivers
Hold
trying
that
to
line.
stay single file up front, but further on back, they are
Hold
still
your
racy as ever, back around that 15th position on
there.
back.
We saw that was the pack that was really going
there.
wild there at the inside.
Oh, Tyler just died on the inside
That
wall.
continues on after this
Oh,
stage break as they're
Tyler.
trying everything in their power just to gain spots.
park
It's
there,
so
sir.
tough to pass here that I think the aggression level has just got to
I
be so
feel that
high farther
pain.
back in the field like this if you want to be able to have a chance to go forward. And one of the drivers trying to go forward is the 12 of Presley Sore, but it's Tyler Dingler on the inside wall.
Into the inside wall, but after hitting the wall, he straightens it out, so we will stay green. Other driver, just a couple of laps previous to that, was Justin Forbes, who got some damage. He was going back into pit road to get service done. Why not try
Outside.
3 wide as Presley Sword has to back out of it? Those other drivers did not know they were going to be 3 wide. Joshua Freed on the inside, 39, and Jesse Thornock on the outside group for the
Still there.
20. And smart move by the 12 to back out of it. Now has got a chance to take an individual pass for each one of those drivers. Again, Presley Sora caught up in our first incident of the day, coming off of turn number 4 and grabbing the pole position. Heavy damage on the 12.
Big wreck. Oh, it's Ollie.
Oh,
he's coming down the track.
Instead of our top 10, it's currently, this is all battling for 15th position. Other drivers bouncing to the inside. There's the 11 of John Forbes. Haven't really
Yeah, for
seen
real, dude.
Forbes either. As up front, damage. Oh no, it's Ollie Fonseca and Danny Cochran involved.
Race car speed is
Oh, no,
55
that is not good.
miles per hour.
Those two top
That was
contenders,
pretty
and they are hurt
Yeah.
off the exit of 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Justin Smith's going to have some
Okay,
damage
Dakota,
too,
the pace car
and
is just
the
left.
yellow flag is going to fly once again.
Full course yellow. Pits are
As
open.
drivers get caught up in the
Race car is
incident,
in turn 3.
they were racing
Race car
hard.
speed is 45
Ollie
miles per
Fonseca
hour.
dives
Just
low,
go ahead.
raises the apron that pushes him up, and then into the 2. And once again, Zach, I don't know if that was fully
Pace
Ollie
car's in,
coming up
turn
or if that
4.
was net code, but this is how Justin Smith gets involved. Ollie Fonseca lets his car roll down, and Smith not expecting it.
Oh, it's such a tough break for Smith there, and
Yeah,
yeah,
this is.
I'd have to go back and look at it a few times. It seemed like some very big net code, and yeah, actually going back and looking at it, saying definitely some decent bit of net code. Is you're gonna see the 24 bumper into the back of the 2, but the 24 makes that mistake onto the apron,
87.
washes up into the 2.
And then that
But the
other
net
wreck
code's what
just
makes it
happened like
terrible.
Yeah, it's
simultaneously.
gonna have to be another aerial view.
Oh, the
if we're
87
gonna
ran
see
into
it,
you?
But it's one
Yeah,
of
he
those
ran it.
wrecks
Yeah,
where these are friends. They're
Huh,
not
he did the same-
expecting
he did the
one
same shit
another
to the
make
38.
this type of incident. They
Yeah,
recognize each
I don't know,
other's
it was weird.
positives, negatives on track. And
checked up. Like
Danny Cochran and Ollie Fonseca
Just plowed in the back.
trying to figure out where they want to place
So I
each
just
other.
wanna
It's going to be
say,
going into
hopefully
turn
the
number
87
1 and 2. You'll see it here. Ollie goes down, going to get close to the apron, and then when they come back together,
The wall snuck
you see
up
a little
on
bit
me.
of
I
spacing.
hit it a little
And at
bit.
that moment
and
right
he had to go
there,
to my
that's
inside
when
to
with the
avoid,
internet
half
connections,
back.
there's invisible, what we call them hit boxes, that kind of shift on their own when connections aren't perfect. And it looks like Danny Cochran or Ollie Fonseca's hitbox kind of just drifted a little bit too much, got into the other driver's
Penalties?
hitbox,
Yeah, I
and
mean, I
got
think-
those
I don't-
drivers connected
I don't know.
in
I think
hard
iRacing
contact
probably
for
would've penalized if
both.
it was that
As Ollie
egregious.
Fonseca, Danny Cochran, both going to have
Full course yellow.
required
I guess
damage
we
didn't
flags
pass you
given
on
to
that.
them,
He
so
did
both
not
into pit
pass me,
road.
pass me.
and both going to be
just
multiple
going by
laps down, at least for Danny Cochran. Ollie Fonseca times it perfectly. He's still on the lead lap, but the damage certainly is a lot greater than he would hope for.
That's for sure, Sam. Yeah, definitely some big damage, and like you said, Cochran, I mean, he's still sitting on pit road, so
no, I'm sure they'll see you hit
just
the
a
wall,
really
so.
unfortunate situation there. It was those two racing really hard. The 24 goes for the really strong move to the inside there, and really where it all went wrong is when he makes a mistake again on the apron.
Yeah,
the net code happens there, it makes that contact, but if you're Danny, you're still going to go back and probably say, man, you got on the apron there and just kind of washed up into me there with that mistake, and that's what happens here at Dover, though. Really close, tight-knit racing like that is going to cause those incidents, and we've seen it so far tonight. It's been riddled by yellows.
It really has been. Tonight's race, coming into this evening, we knew there's a chance of high caution counts, but it wasn't something that we thought was going to happen. As again, this is the fourth. Tonight is the fifth time being ran. We've had 4 previous races at Dover, and those four previous races, we've had 2 of the 4 have 5 cautions. And then we've had a race that had 3 that was back in season 2, and then season 4 only 1 caution was thrown here at Dover.
But I'm
so
sure there's
the
other
potential
leagues out there
of a
that
low
have
caution
that too.
count race was there, and I think was expected. But it kind of got turned around with the track. The way this track has evolved with the cooler temps, everyone's feeling a little bit faster. And sometimes when the trucks and the cars are faster, Zach, I think you've seen it also when driving. Drivers kind of get a little bit over their head at moments and make bolder moves than they usually would if the truck or car was running a little bit slower.
You're exactly right, Sam. When everybody is quick, it just equates to everyone being that much more close. You know, when you have that speed and that higher speed, there's more risk involved in it, and it really makes things very easily able to be mistakes. And that's the kind of thing you see. What you see a lot of times when you have conditions like this, where it's cooler like this, you'll see the speeds increase, but that margin of window of error kind of decreases. It's a smaller window, in my opinion, when you're going faster. So it's easier to have those big moments turn into wrecks instead of just big slides. So that's one thing that can really stack things up. And then, of course, everybody just being quick is everybody's on top of each other.
As up front's going to be Mark Whitley and as well Justin Campbell.
Wreck as a team.
Looks like he's going to be continuing to change up which lane he wants to be leading. Now going to be on the inside. And you can see it in the chat. People are cheering it on. Stovall is just outside of our top 10. That 42 trying to make his recovery run.
Much better restart by me.
To the mix. Also got Mason Gassity inside of our top 10. Christopher Norris is inside of our top 10 as he was caught up in earlier issues. As we are green here tonight, once again, for the big dog dash by Jack and Archie and Mark Whitley.
I'm on the
point, and already going to be a little bit less than a half car length ahead of Campbell as they exit out of turn number 2.
Great start once again from Whitley out front, but it's everybody from really the 9th position back that's starting to make moves. Is Christopher Norris on the inside of Malik Coates, and the 98 was a truck I kind of was looking to watch out for here tonight, because last time we were at Dover, he was definitely one of the stronger drivers, if I'm not mistaken. I think he won this track this race.
Malik Coates, he's been close. He's almost found himself in victory lane. I think that was the Trenton jump race where he came up just a little bit shy. But Malik is someone that is threatening. I feel like at every racing, this 98, the potential. I think back to his rookie campaign, Malik kind of had a similar start to Ollie Fonseca, I would say, where the first season there was so much high confidence with early pace, but always had the worst luck at times. Then kind of had some anger moments in season 2, and his last couple of seasons mellowed out on track, and is now just trying to find that raw speed that the 98 had initially when he first joined this series. But currently runs 9th, pretty good run for himself. Look just outside of our top 10 in 12th position. We find the 42 of Joshua Stovall. There is your UPS Brown machine as he's racing with your pole sitter of Presley Sora, as Sora's on his recovery run as well.
Great recovery run for Sora too. That is amazing. He's already been working his way back to here. Same for Stovall. I mean, he was involved in that same wreck. So both these drivers having some great recovery runs. Now let's go Presley Sora to the inside of Christopher Norris. This is the battle for 10th. It looks like Christopher Norris is going to roll over and give it to him. But the battle for the 42 and the 38 reaches around.
Continues to just be back and forth, seeing some drivers that were working up front on the outside. After they get to a certain level, it seems like those tires start to fade away on the outside groove as Norris will now follow the clutches of Joshua Stovall. Stovall moves up to 11. now going to be seeing Talon Drake, as well as Joshua Freed, Michael Miller. They're on their charge to be going forward, and for the likes of Miller and Freed, both have been running very similar this season. I would say qualifying hasn't been the strongest for either one of them, but when it comes to the end of the race, they always just seem to pop up near our top 10 position.
That's always a great feeling too. You know, you're just kind of lurking in the background, and then all of a sudden you get those good, consistent finishes, and that could be what propels you to a top 12 points, you know, season. So we'll see if that allows them to get into those playoffs. Is consistency can kind of sometimes bail you out of a lot of things. So we'll see if that works out for this group. But it's also got a lot of fast trucks right here. Look at John Forbes finally making his way, trying to break into the top 15 with this passer on the outside of the 39 of Freed, and he'll get it done off too.
Able to get it done, but there's drivers up front that are struggling, and that's the 46 of Trenton Jump. Jump has been on a free fall for himself. Once was challenging for 4th place, now falling to the clutches of 8th position to Jarrett Talmadge after grazing the wall up the exit of turn 2 the lap prior. But he has been going backwards, and this has got to be a frustrating feeling, joining the likes of Christopher Norris and a couple of others that were falling backwards after the way they started on that restart.
That's for sure. It's so tough here at Dover too, because things can snowball so quickly. You know, just a little bit of too much pushing is old. John Forbes, I think, in the background, big slide for him, but he catches it, as that could have been night over for the 11. But he did a great job of gathering that thing back up and holding on for 15th. But it is definitely a track that things can snowball, and if you're trying to jump right now, you're trying to just take a deep breath because you fell those 2 spots. Now you're in 7th, and you got kind of a little bit of breathing room behind you. Now you're going to try to manage your equipment a little bit as this grouping is stacking up with each other, while Whitley out front just driving into the sunset.
I mean, this is kind of a normal Mark Whitley type of a win. This is why he's the most winningest driver in this series. When Mark Whitley gets clean air, he is the most dominant driver in this series, and that's why it's so scary when you get him up front early on in a race. He won this race all the way back in season 5, led 161 of 170 laps. He got the pole that day, led the most laps and won. But here tonight, the fear of Mark Whitley is quite high for the 77. With how big of a gap he's got right now, the things that could cost Mark Whitley is pit strategy. That has been a point that could get him in trouble, and he's got to hope that if we stay green and we have a green flag pit stop later on in this race, he finds himself in the right strategy point.
Yeah, you got to be on the right side of the strategy for sure. I mean, like you said, he's so good in clean air, but if he has some type of strategy mistake go wrong, as he puts Ali Fonseca a lap down there, so Fonseca will fall to 1 lap down now, unfortunately. But if you're Whitley, you can't have that strategy go wrong, because like we said, so good out in clean air, but if he gets caught up in the back here, it's going to be tough to move your way forward.
Trying to continue on with the battles that are happening out on track. Again, second on back starting to close in on one another. Ali Fonseca kind of going to be a little bit of a factor that gets everyone pushed up. But Justin Campbell is in trouble. Vincent Sora trying to get to that outside quarter panel, not able to do so just yet. But you got to be careful. He squeezed that outside wall. Instead, he'll make a dinky move to the inside. Now going to be side by side for second. It's Campbell, it's Sora, and Thomas Green trying to give the bumper to assist the 15 on the straightaway, but they're not able to get in line. Instead, everyone has to take a deep breath, and this accordion, this grouping, the more they get clogged up with one another, any mistake of trying to go for a pass and it doesn't work is going to rattle back through this group. It could cause a chain reaction that we have to keep our eyes out on, as Vincent Sora once again has to back off, get some spacing, and set up for another chance for a pass.
It's so tough. Vincent Sora looked like he was trying to make that maneuver on the 9, just didn't have the rear grip to really put the power down the pool up to it. So tough situation if you're Vincent Sora trying to go forward, but it's one of those things here, though, you're going to have a tough time doing. As those like Mason Cassidy, all over that bumpy of Cody Reed has broke his way into the top 5. These two get a little rowdy. He's the 6th of Justin Smith here, who is 1 lap down now, for the first truck a lap down, getting passed by this grouping here, just way off the pace.
Way off the quiet pace again, caught up in that earlier incident, and then also find himself just I think a lack of power really is there for the 6 machine. Here's some of the other battles that are happening out on course. This is battling for just inside of our top 20. This is Joshua Freed in 18th, 19th, Sam Garcia, and Dakota Moniz in 20th. As this group's going to drag seeing the poking their nose around 50, but nowhere really to go. It's oh no, in front of our leaders. It's just the force scrambling and spinning in front of the pack. And oh no, it looked like a pit road move gone wrong. And that almost
every time it starts to get feeling good.
Top 10. Luckily, they were able to avoid.
Oh man,
I
yeah,
thought I didn't get
way too hot there on the apron. Got that truck bouncing as we'll go back here and check it out. He was just ahead of Mark Whitley. He was 2 laps down at this point right here. And I think he was saying, man, I got to get the pit road and get some new tires on this truck. Maybe he took a wave around or something. Just not feeling confident with those older set of tires. But he's going to come down the back straightaway here, dive to the inside. And right here, it's going to bounce the truck when he hits this transition. And from there, he loses the rear end with probably having the brakes pretty far to the rear. And he's going to try to correct it instead of just keeping the spin out down there. And it's going to do a 360. Whew. That was close to being a major disaster there, Sam, for the 4.
Yeah, for the 4 and plenty of others, but this caution resets the field. This is going to be on lap 84 that everyone enters pit road. Going to be the start of 85.
Nice.
With the fuel window we were given around 70. This is still short of making it to the end of this race, but this does put us in that weird spot of if we get a couple of more cautions, this could be your final pit stop of the day. If you time this out right with the yellow flags, as everyone coming into pit road going to get 4 tires and a fuel, getting back out on track. Michael Miller doing a strategy that we've seen in past races for the 99. He will stay out to lead a lap. The 99 expected to hit pit road the lap after, but Zach,
next car is in, turn 3.
That's a wake-up call. If anyone was feeling a little relaxed, which I doubt it with the way we were seeing the racing close up on everyone. That certainly was the wake-up call of, okay, we're past halfway. Right. You better hope that you're hitting the right marks now.
In, turn 4.
Yeah, that was for sure a wake-up call. I think a lot of people probably got a little scared there that, hey, my race is going to end quickly. But it's so interesting to see that, the different strategies. And now with everybody coming down the pit here, I'm really, really interested to see what we're going to be like when it comes to fuel, because this racetrack, sometimes you can go on the farther distance side of the things. And, we've seen a few times lately with a few races of Freaky Fast where it's that perfectly timed caution to right outside the fuel window, and saving fuel has usually come back to win. But this place with so much tire fall off and it being only a 22 to 23 second lap around here, you can actually make a pit stop and make that time up. It's just going to be the question of which strategy works better.
Which strategy is going to be there, but again, this is going to be a close call. I think the big thing when it comes down to fuel mileage here at Dover, Zach, I could be wrong on this, but I feel like it's more so tires that you're more concerned about than it is fuel. So I don't even know if we're going to get to that fuel mileage mark for some of these drivers further on back, because sometimes it feels like if you're trying to save, sometimes you're not saving the tires as well as you'd hope.
That's exactly right, Sam, for sure. And what I just looked at, just went and found a little bit of data just to make sure that I was feeling like we were close. We are somewhat close when it comes to making it on fuel, but I still think we're about 4 laps short of that mark. So it looks like you can go around 74 laps. I mean, if you could stretch it out, you could probably go 80, but I still think you're going to need a little bit more fuel for these guys if they're going to make it. So most likely, like you said, tires are going to be the huge thing here of concern. So we'll get to see how these guys split this run up, so to say. You could really see some really try to push and pit a little bit earlier, but you always have that chance. And when you pit earlier, you can get caught out by that caution. And that yellow flag has been frequent tonight. You don't want to have that happen, because you will go a lap down.
As the drivers are having their break, hey, maybe you need a break throughout the day, go check out Larry Art Productions YouTube and Instagram page for some great humor and ways to promo for the next race. ISRC Larry Art Productions Truck Series is happy to have Larry Arts as one of the major sponsors of the Truck Series, as Larry sponsors a lot of the drivers, also some races, as well as the league. It's been a great partner for the ISRC Truck Series, as Larry gives out great content for comedy, humor, 2 reviews. Check him out again on Instagram and on YouTube. For us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, if you're enjoying the show, again, best way for us to know is you liking the video of this stream as well as commenting in the chat or just subscribing. Those are the 3 major ways to let us know, hey, you're enjoying the product that we're giving you out. It helps when the drivers give us great shows, and we're hoping that this restart is another fantastic one, as the big dog dash by Jack and Archie is about to get back underway. It's Mark Whitley, Justin Campbell going to be your front 2. You're trying to keep it close is the 9, and I gotta say for Mark Whitley, he's still switching back and forth, but at times it seems like Campbell is almost figuring it out.
He almost did seem to figure it out, but it's Vincent Sora who gets big loose off the exit of 2. It's going to stack it up, and now he's going to lose multiple spots, possibly dropping all the way back to 6, and now we're going to have Trenton jump to the outside. So this may be the 15 all the way back to 7th, unless he can't hold off his brother, but now it's slotting there as the 12's going to the inside, and also have the 11 of John Forbes coming forward.
They are all on top of one another, and don't look now, there's a couple of other faces that would love to get into the mix. You've also got Talon Drake, who's just behind, as well as watching out for Jared Talmadge, who's trying to find a mixture, as Malik Coons gets pushed high, and everyone's favorite is the brothers. Both their internets flash for a second. That's why they blink the same moment as Drake drifts low. Gotta be careful, might be going 3 wide, as Stovall's able to scoot his way through past the 87. Stovall, Malik, they're lucky to get by, as Malik steps loose, gets it to Stovall. They keep it together in straight. Woo, Jackets can loosen these cold tires. They are not friendly for the field at this moment.
That they are not. Everybody having big moments as Vincent Sora, same for him, another slide off of 4, while Mark Whitley puts in purple lap time after purple lap time. This is showing right here that all it takes is one little mistake and you lose a ton of track position to get back in the Hornet's nest as the 15 is done. And he is slipping farther back as now he has his brother to the outside on the 12 of Presley Sora. Look to take 9th over from Vincent Sora, who at one point was running 3rd just a few laps ago.
I mean, those were the 2 drivers that were leading the front rows to start this race. Now, going to be leading back in 9th and 10th position. Instead up front, it's Mark Whitley and Justin Campbell once again. And that gap of the lead is already up to a half a second. But it's Campbell on back that I'm curious about. How will that grouping clog back up into the train that they once were? They were all stacked nose to tail for almost about 10 truck lengths back. They were keeping it close. Will it continue like that trend, or will we see Campbell try to get a little bit more aggressive here? But like we've been talking about under that last caution, fuel, tires, it could get close if you go into extreme save mode, but that is a gutsy call to make.
It is definitely a gutsy call to make, so we'll see if anybody elects to do that. But right now, Campbell kind of clean breathing room around him as Whitley's pulled almost about a 0.6 of a second gap, but now about a 0.5 second gap back to Thomas Green for Justin Campbell. So it's just right now a lot more spread out when it comes to our grouping up front. But I tell you what, that doesn't mean that nothing can't happen here quickly, because we've seen all night this track has took some people big time victim-wise when it comes off the exit of these corners. It is crazy to see how this is all working out.
It certainly has. And again, the Hornet's Nest that once was 15th on back, it's now 12th on back. It's more so 12th to 16th is that current Hornet's Nest. If we're going to see issues, it might be from this grouping that have really been trying to stay attached to one another. Garcia and Talon Drake have been very close to one another, and right now you see Samuel Garcia, our Rookie of the Year last season, the 50. He's had a very up and down type of a race. He's been in some of our top 10 at moments. He's fallen all the way down to 25th at another time, and currently runs 15th, and trying to again finish with a top 15 finish would be such a good day for this 50 machine.
It really would be, for sure, as Garcia is just continually, found his growth. We talked to him earlier, in the season about how that's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to continually grow here at ISRC, and he's definitely done that. As we look back to last race's winner, not last week, it was 2 weeks ago after a great run for Nick Crawford finally getting that Road America win. It's been kind of quiet tonight after making that early pit stop. He's been stuck back here outside the top 15, has never really found a way back forward.
Yeah, I'm curious if Nick's maybe rethinking that strategy call, because like I said, has never really been able to move his way forward, and surprisingly, it's actually been the drivers that were caught up in earlier wrecks that have moved forward much more efficiently than Nick Crawford. The aggressive big moves have allowed some drivers to grab those track position back and not relinquish any lost time. Here's some drivers, though, that are getting on top of one another. seeing John Forbes. Speaking of relinquishing and not wanting to lose time, the 11 caught up in that first caution of the day. Well, guess what? He's not showing that he has any damage. The 11 now putting the pressure on Cody Reed, the teammates for Snowy Desert Racing, now going to be side by side as Forbes makes the charge on the outside groove.
What a pass for Forbes, but he's got the fight still because Reed drives it back in there and won, but I think off the exit at 2, the pass should be done this time as Forbes now into the top 5, and he is a threat. I tell you that. He is a threat when it comes to Dover, so do not count the 11 out. He's going forward.
He certainly is, up to 10th place as driver that's shockingly up front. Mason Cassidy, 4th place for the Go Mason machine, as he's trying to run down 3rd place runner Justin Campbell. But the driver that was able to finally get by Campbell, Thomas Green, he's on the charge. But I'm looking at the lap times here, Zach. Still, Mark Whitley is running 3 to 4 tenths faster than anyone else out on track, except for Thomas Green, who's just 1/10 off.
It's kind of ominous for sure when it looks to the 77th space. Unless he just drastically falls off, it's going to be tough to beat him, because also it not being a full fuel run like we thought we would get possibly, it's going to split this thing up. So with the speed that Whitley has, it's going to be tough to gain back on him, but he's not having his share of, I mean, he's not only having his share of moments just like everybody else, he's just able to go through a little bit quicker.
Right, a little bit quicker, having that fresh air, that certainly is helping the nose get a little bit more assistance going through these corners, as seeing the rest of the field all in line, and this is going to be a charge to who can make it to the end of this race. Still plenty of great racing to be seen, as we're over 100 laps, still have over 65 laps to go here tonight. We will step away for another commercial break. We want to say thank you so much to everyone that's been watching with us. When we come back, more great action here at Dover as the ISRC Lariat Productions Truck Series race number 5. It's the Big Dog Bash by Jack and Archie. Happy to have the sponsors back for another Dover race, as we will be back right after this for some more concrete action.
Mark, I assume when you get to me, you want me to go high, right? Good to you. Roger, roger.
Cool, Martin, get off my fucking ass, dude. See me getting loose, why would you continue to get close to me?
Yeah, no, they're outside. Ass packed by the 99. So I was checking up for you.
Yeah, it's all good. I got that's right.
Hold that line. High side.
Alright. I was not racing with this fucking phenomenon. That's close.
21, that was at 25, 0-0.
Danger, danger, and we made it through. Ollie Fonseca stays low, but John Forbes has been on the aggression, trying to force it 3 wide multiple times, but had to back out. Finally gets an opening to maybe get by Thomas Green, and will do so. Forbes up to 3rd. The driver, they're all trying to chase down and catch. Mark Whitley over almost 3 seconds ahead of this great battling. But it is turning into seeing Snowy Desert Racing.
You guys are fighting it back here, aren't they?
How much pace will this 11 truly have to try to match the 77 of Mark Whitley? Because John Forbes has been getting damage repair. Whitley has been clean sailing up front. It's been a fun one to watch so far this evening.
They just
Thank
ran
you
in
for
the
joining
back
with
of me.
us on your Monday night on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. You're watching the ISRC Lariat Productions Truck Series, the Big Dog Dash by Jack and Archie. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall. Robert Moyer Jr. running production in the background. But Zach, this has been a Mark Whitley show on who most likely is going to win this race. But second on back, they've been giving us the best show of the night.
That they have, man. It has been fantastic, so to say. And ever since Campbell has gotten, kind of released for making that pass on Thomas Green, he's making time on Whitley. I mean, not a crazy amount of time. We're talking about 500ths the last time by. And it was about a 10th the time before that. I mean, anything can help. And I think Forbes was also there. He was the fastest truck around the track there in this grouping last time by. I think that Sore actually was the fastest overall. But great times coming from a lot of these guys here as we get farther into this run. We'll see if Whitley has any weakness in that time by. 24.72 for Whitley, 24.58 for Campbell. So it is showing gains for Campbell here. He's just got to continue his charge.
And also other updates on track. We've lost Cedric Hunter from an earlier incident, as well as Danny Cochran from earlier incidents, as we just lost Justin Smith after he got himself into the inside pit wall right when we went to a commercial break. And other drivers have been on recovery runs. John Forbes, the highest of all those that have recovered from earlier incidences, but Joshua Stovall, who runs currently in Denton, he's been having one of his better runs. I know fan favorite in the chat, hoping for a good run for that 42, as well as seeing a couple of other drivers just outside of the top 10. You got Malik Kuntz here, also Christopher Norris, as Norris has been trying to figure out how to move his way forward. As a couple of drivers have to figure out the timing. Zach, it's tough. Like we talked about, the fuel and tires, it was going to be pretty big of a gap to make it to the end of this race. But if you're going to pit, when do you think would be the best time for some of these drivers?
It's going to be very interesting on that because, again, we talked about it earlier, if the caution comes out while you do pit, it is such a huge amount of a loss. I mean, you're not only going to go a lap down, but it's going to put you in a position then where you got to fight to get back on the lead lap. Now, the other situation of that is if you stay out too long, you give up too much time if it stays green. So this is the tough predicament that everybody sits in right now. I'm thinking what you will see most likely is a lot of drivers around the 130, 135 point of this run. They'll probably start to think about pit stops. That's about the halfway point of the run, and they'll be thinking maybe that's where they need to hit pit road. You see Cassidy right there, a little bit of a mistake from him as he's dropping farther back. Looks like some of these drivers are starting to lose the grip. I wouldn't be surprised if a few of them start to take a gamble and hit pit road.
We talk about that immediately while you were talking about that. Drivers over the radio saying we need a yellow because tires are hurting. Eric Kralik couldn't stay out there anymore. The 01 has now made his way into pit road. Going to be the first of our lead lap drivers to make a pit stop, 4 tires and fuel. And the 01 going to prove the major gains on tire wise. Another front runner, Trent Jump, has made the call. He's going to be setting himself into pit road, or was showing signs for a moment. Actually gets out into the outside wall. Was the 46 issues for himself there. And now I'm curious, Zach, with how fast we've been seeing drivers go, and being out there for 37 laps, we've seen drivers blow tires in the past. It's been the right front most of the time, but I'm curious if maybe tire issues could be a factor in the next 13 to 15 laps if you don't go into pit road.
It very well possibly could be, and the thing about that is, from what I heard from the tire wear I was getting from a few people I was talking to before the race, it seemed like the right rear was the tire that actually took the brunt of the wear tonight. So we could blow a right rear, and if you blow a right rear, it's different than blowing a right front. Blowing a right front, usually you just don't make the corner and go straight into the wall. You blow a right rear, you're spinning out and bringing a caution with you.
And actually, it was trying to get into pit road. He missed pit entry. Had to go an extra lap around. Another 46. So he's trying to get service done. When you go into pit road here at Dover, it is a long time sitting there. You're going 2 laps down as it takes around 47 seconds to get a service done. Eric Kralik with that time counting from, and each lap 24 seconds, 24 and a half seconds these drivers are putting down for our leaders. So you will go 2 laps down if you're trying to jump. The question is, you're now banking on this race to stay green, because if you have one guy stay out, everyone else goes into pit road and gets service done. Even if you take a wave around, you're still track 1 lap down. So this is that really odd spot where you need this race to stay green if you've made the call to pit right now.
Exactly, Sam. Yeah, if you've already made that call to pit,
physical or emotional
you are
damage
hoping for nothing but green flag racing. The only time you hope to see possibly a yellow is after a 20, 30, 40 laps from now where everybody's already pit and cycled through. Then you take advantage of maybe having a little bit better track position. But yeah, I think pit stops very quickly going to start to happen. I think a lot of people are just trying to wait a little bit longer so they can have a little bit fresher tires for the last part of this race. Because if you were to pit now, you're pretty much putting yourself on one of the longer runs of the night.
One driver who made a pit stop caught with speeding on pit entry, going to be the 20 of Jesse Thornock. There are many different ways we've already just seen here, just in the early beginnings of this pit cycle. Missing pit road, getting caught speeding, the pit barrels, just not getting onto the pit road entry as quick as other drivers. There are many different ways to lose time and lose this race when you're trying to get to pit road, and majority of the field still need to make this stop. We still wait for our top 20 drivers to make their stop. Talon Drake gonna be the next driver to hit pit road for himself, but top 20 drivers all still need to make at least one more pit stop before this race is over. But it's still Mark Whitley dominating here this evening. Some close racing action that's happening on screen. You see it there. It's the 50 of Samuel Garcia. He's part of this closest battle. He's got Michael Miller behind him as they're trying to run down and catch Malik Kuntz, if possible, for that 13th position.
Seeing a lot of people move around the racetrack. Malik Kuntz is taking the extreme outside and then cutting down on the exit to get a straighter run. And that's just telling me right rear tires are gone from a lot of these guys, and they're scared to exit on that bottom, because when you exit down there,
my friend.
you have to have so much more wheel in the racing truck to get it in the turn, and that really causes that snapping loose condition that can catch a lot of people off guard. So definitely some wild scenes here to see some different lines being used. But I think again, here lap coming about a complete lap 30 this time, there's going to be a busy pit road here in the next 5 laps. You'll probably see some of the leaders probably start to take that chances. I think Vince Sora is one of the first ones to do it.
He is the first one inside of our top 5 that will make the decision to hit pit road. Vincent Sora in the 15. So now Vincent Sora is taking the gamble of going with what we call an undercut. Now into pit road. It's going to be our leader, Mark Whitley, as he gives up the lead, and recognizing Vincent Sora's pitted, I have to counter the 15. You cannot allow Vincent Sora to take that lead position, have clean air to work with. That's why Mark Whitley had to go into pit road the lap after.
I like that counter from the 77. That's definitely going to be good for him. The biggest thing now is he's just hoping it stays clean and green so they can cycle this through. Because right now, if you're Whitley, this is one of the only things that could take this victory away from you after such a dominant performance, as he gets stopped perfectly in the box there. And he's going to get his 4 tires and service and fuel done here in the next few minutes.
Every lap that ticks away, the more nervous you are as the driver that gets service done. 4 tires and fuel, and you try to get out there as cleanly as possible for yourself. Mark Whitley, though, one of those drivers, though, taking a gutsy call. We'll see how the 77 is going to be able to ride these lap times. Because do you take it patiently and try to salvage your piece of your tires, or do you go as fast as you can to make sure you're back on the lead lap almost immediately, as puffs of smokes is showing this driver trying to lock their tires to hit the speed markers as Eric Stamp snaps loose for a second there. But as John Forbes, Cody Reed, who leads this race currently, they're still needing to hit pit road, as Justin Campbell's got service done, as well as Mark Morales has got service done this most recent lap.
And I'm not surprised to see a few drivers like John Forbes here, Cody Reed, Thomas Green, Mason Cassidy, Jarrett Tallmadge, our top 5 stretch it out here a little bit. This pit road is one of those treacherous pit roads getting on and off. So if you hit anything, you could catch a quick yellow here, and that could be exactly what you need. I mean, of course, we got Dakota Moniz, Aaron Crawlick, Michael Whitley, Vincent Sword, Justin Campbell, Trenton Jump, all one lap down right now. If the caution was to come out and catch them out, they'd have to take the wave around and then put themselves on older tires compared to everybody. So I think that's why you're seeing the likes of Forbes continue to stay out. He's hoping to catch that lucky up.
There's a couple of drivers. I'm looking at their pace. I'm looking at the last time they pitted. Watch out for Eric Stamp. We saw him get passed by Mark Whitley when Whitley got back up there on track. Stamp's going to be passed by Whitley, but Stamp's going for a strategy for a net positive of staying out on track. I don't think he's going to work out for the 53. But another driver I've got circled up is Nick Crawford in 12th place. Zach, we talked about the fact that he wasn't able to really get those positions back for himself. But if you're Nick Crawford, is he just staying out as long as possible with the pace that he's showing right now, trying to save fuel? Because for a while there, he was a half-second slower than John Forbes and other drivers. Looked like trying to save fuel. Maybe the tires are fading away, but I'm curious, this long into a run, with how much time you're giving up, maybe that's the stretch call. Just run it until it goes dry.
It very well could be the call. I mean, because some of the racing I've seen going on out here, we are been close a few times already to a cross with some of these guys on fresher tires, some of the guys on older tires, where the sequence happens. And look at the closing rates. Good to saw Justin Campbell, who are racing each other, trying to go past these older tires. All it takes is one little fumble of a mistake here, or if the guys with old tires in front of you make a wrong misjudgment call, and we got a quick yellow. So it's going to be interesting. If you're Mark Whitley, who now is the first car one lap down, he is trying to fly up to John Forbes and get past him. The only problem with that, Forbes is down the middle of the back straightaway, while Mark Whitley's just going into turn one.
So much time that is going to be given up. You find yourself getting a caution right now for those that already pitted. A wave around would be so costly for those that already pitted laps and laps and laps prior. But you got a couple of drivers that we're keeping an eye out on of when are they going to hit pit road. Those can they react to this incredible closing rate. Because at this moment, John Forbes is a driver that's aiming to go into pit road, but with a slide like that, got to be careful for the 11 machine. Cody Reed stays out. Thomas Green goes into pit road, but that's a big slide for the 18. Keep my eyes out to see if there's a black flag given to the 18 machine. Looks like he is clear and will be able to get service done without a black flag given. Malik Kuntz is about to be leaving his box here shortly, as we still have a good majority of 12 drivers yet to hit pit road yet, and they will continue to stretch the fuel out, and based off the fuel numbers, they can still go for another 12 laps if they wanted to.
That's for sure. Yeah, I think they could probably even go a little bit farther than that there if they've done the right on the lifting and coasting, saving that fuel, so to say. So we'll see how that works out. But Cody Reed electing to continue to stay out. Now, if you're Mark Whitley, you probably feel a little bit better because Reed only about a corner away from you. You still want to get that lap back. That's really the goal. That should be on Whitley's forefront in mind right now, because as soon as you get that lap back, that at least allows you to pit with everybody, have yourself even footing the tires, and not have to take a lucky dog that gives you the tell. The longest line, as you can see right here, the stack up off the exit of 2. This is all it's going to take. Here's a mistake, and it could be a yellow flag.
Joshua Stoll is going to stay low, and the 42 going to be going into pit road to get their service done. Hold on, Joshua, as the 42 holds steady. Pit road, that slide costly at moments. And caution flag is out. Caution is thrown. And this is what everyone was nervous about. The caution that would change everything. And it looks to be around Aaron Crawlick in the 01. Dakota Moniz. They got close, and it was Dakota and going to be Jesse Thornock that spin to bring out the yellow.
Oh, man. And what's interesting is, too, we'll see what this, of course, how the yellow worked out here. But who's going to get the lucky dog? Because Whitley was in position for that, but Stovall went a lap down just as that caution was coming out. So I don't know who exactly we'll get it from, but this is some of the wild racing we saw there before. I don't know if this is exactly the instant we saw here.
It's going to be seen the 01 ducking low. He'll snap loose and overcorrects, and that looseness gets into Dakota, who then spins out the 20, and with oncoming traffic with that angle, caution flag is thrown. Crawlick has called it a night. Jesse Thornock's spin is what brings out this late yellow that is going to be putting us in a shootout range. And we got ourselves 7 drivers that stayed out, 7 drivers that will stay on the lead lap. And we got a cluster that will have to take a wave around as we still wait for what Stover's positioning will be. If he's going to be the wave around or the lucky dog driver. And looking at it, Zach, it looks like Mark Whitley was that lucky dog driver.
If Whitley is right on board that hit there with Aaron Krog. That's such a big hit there. Brings that yellow out. If you're Whitley, that is at least something you can take with a grain of salt. Now, this is going to be a huge benefit for him because a lot of his top competitors were drivers that got caught and they're going to have to take a wave around. It's going to be tough for them. Whitley, he's going to get the lucky dog, so he got the wave back to the even spot with these guys. He should be able to pit this time also.
Did you pit already?
But he will have to go to the tail and the longest line. Luckily for him, though, the tail and the longest line shouldn't be too far due to all the wave rounds we should have. So this is going to set him up for around, I think, about a 10th to 9th and 10th position once we go back green. But we'll see if he can make up that track position with not that much time. And if we got some quick trucks up here, it could be very, very tough.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be around that 10th place position is going to be where Mark Whitley's going to be placed. Again, he's got the choice of going to the pit road, and he will go into pit road, get service done. 4 tires and a fuel will be given to Mark Whitley. And now this is when things can get a little bit tricky. We're late into this run. Again, we're closing in, going to be around 20 laps to go when we go green once again. That's around that last time that you really want to pit. So Mark Whitley should be good from here on out. Worry about pit stops because this would be his final set of tires with this pit stop of taking 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, like you said, Sam, I think luckily it's so close to the end of the race that it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But I will say, if we go 15 laps here and get a quick yellow, you could possibly think about tires. We saw Nick Crawford do it earlier. It didn't really work. But if you have a large majority of the group on those fresher tires, it could work. So we'll have to see how that all shakes out if we do get those yellows. But yeah, it looks like Whitley will be around the 10th position, and he should start right behind that grouping after everybody takes the wave.
And for those Stovall fans out there, the 42 will looks to be back in 13th position. Expected to take the wave around is going to be Stovall, so he'll be looping back around. He'll have Justin Campbell, Vincent Sora. They're going to be on 16 and 14 lap old tires. Compared to Stovall, who right when the yellow came out, got service done to refresh the tires of those that are going to be taking the wave around. But up front, Cody Reed, Jarrett Talmadge, Presley Sora, Christopher Norris, Joshua Freed, Nick Crawford, Eric Stamp, Larry Yingling, Mark Whitley, and Samuel Garcia will be your top 10. Garcia just went into pit road, so move Vincent Sora should be moving up to that 10th place position. This is going to be one of those fun restarts to watch out for because we got some new faces up front. And for the first time this race, since the first start of the race, Mark Whitley is back in traffic.
This will make things definitely more interesting, Sam. I think Whitley, he's got enough pace. He's got enough time. I think he should be able to get himself back up there. The question is going to be, you got Cody Reed up here in the lead. Yeah, that's a huge thing for Cody Reed right now. But Reed luckily does have the likes of his teammates of Nicholas Crawford and Christopher Norris. If you're Reed, you're pleading to your teammates. Do everything in your power to hold him up because I'm going to need some.
Your top going to be 8 drivers are stacked side by side. Everyone else has to stay in line as we get ready for this late restart. 21 laps to go here tonight at Dover for the big dog dash by Jack and Archie. Cody Reed with a massive launch. Inside row gets stalled out. Not able to get the launch that they were hoping for. Everyone else still stays 2 by 2, but Christopher Norris wanted to flirt with disaster. Instead, it's Cody Reed, Jarrett Talmadge pulling away as Eric Stamp heavily pressured by Mark Whitley. That's 77 wants to go, but there's a wall in front of him.
This is going to be tough for Mark Whitley. There's so many trucks stacked up on top of each other, but they're wrecking.
Stamp! Mason Cassidy going to be making contact. Rest of the field's going to have to check up to get around those drivers. But Mark Whitley spins. Drake goes around. Mark Whitley has the meltdown. Oh no!
Hey,
the
you know
biggest
that
thing that makes Mark Whitley fall apart is when it's late in a race, put in traffic, and the meltdown happens for the 77.
What's the lane change rule?
Wow, such a tough break for him. And
well, I'm talking.
really was nothing he could do. We'll go back and look at it.
Oh yeah, no,
somebody stamp collects the inside there and just slams Whitley into the wall.
Tom, did you get
the
through
right
that all
front
right?
is broken here. You know, it's going to look weird here
Like
because
right
it's
in
going to
between,
keep coming down kind of like towards the corner. But the right front is pretty broke on that
Yeah,
truck,
that
so I'm
was
sure
crazy.
it was tough to steer there for him. But just it just shows you everything can go right in a race in racing. As you can see, he had a big run there, staying covered it all, and just one moment.
Thank you, whoever that was. That really
for
was
it. Next thing you know, you're out of a shot to win this race.
I feel like everyone might have forgotten. I mean, cold tires are so loose. And you saw there, Mark Whitley, steering wheel straight. I mean, it's just broke. He gave up, and there's nothing to do. I mean, it's just, it almost looks like he unplugged his steering wheel with how straight that thing stayed all the way through.
I think, yeah, that definitely looked a little bit interesting with how straight the wheel was. I mean, for him, that's just got to be heartbreak for Mark Whitley. I mean, such a dominant run. Had everything going right in the race, but again, it just shows you when you have a green flag stop still to go in a race, any little
Anybody else
thing
have an
can
issue
happen
when we
to
waved
ruin
around
it
where
for
you didn't
yourself.
get your
You know,
lap back?
you could feel like, man, I'm in the perfect spot, and then next thing you know, you're just caught
You
out
might have been
and
two
you
down,
have nowhere to go.
'cause I
So
was
it's
two
a
down
tough
before
break if
that
you're
night.
Whitley. He's gonna have to
Yeah,
swallow
I was
that pill
down,
and
I think,
not
in
be
the
the
wave
first
around.
two-time winner this season, and he'll just have to gather it back up.
Yeah,
and
well,
head
that's
to
the
next
thing. I
week.
was two down,
Curious if maybe
and
we can
then
go
I did
back
the wave
and
around.
see on that replay. There's another driver caught up in that incident.
Sometimes
Did not
if
get
you
to see.
lag
That
right
is
as you're
Joshua
crossing the line,
Stovall,
it
the
won't
42,
register the lap.
who
That's
was
happened to me
having a
before.
great run trying to fight his way through traffic. He's got a required damage flag, and it looks like he was involved in that last incident. And we're going to go see if we can possibly get another look at it. But, Zach, this is going to hurt for a driver that had such a good run. He was fighting to get inside of our top 10 here tonight.
That he was. He was fighting to get a rebound back from all that stuff that happened on the very first lap of the race. But you're going to see up here, everything's happening in front. It's going to be Moniz gets into the wall. He get hits by Michael Miller. That shoves him down the racetrack into the likes of the 42. He comes back up, collects Coots. There's Ali Fonseca, as it was just mayhem. And that's what happens a lot of times at Dover with this bank straightaways. Everything goes left to right, or from right to left, and it just causes a lot more incidents.
99.
A lot of times.
This was a separate incident that happened, but I mean, it's just everyone fighting for every position. And it gets thrown away as they were still going into pit road for himself. But luckily, with being involved in that wreck, he did have time to get repairs done. There's a lot of optional damage that needs to get repaired, but he was able to get the required damage flag repaired, so he will be able to race. Stovall currently 14th, but he's going in and out of pit road to get sure that thing is repaired as it can be as we get ready for 15 laps to go, and then we'll get back out there and racing. But with this restart, Mark Whitley's now out, our major favorite of the night. I mean, Zach, that kind of resettles everyone else's mindset of who is the next in line to be the next driver. We've seen Thomas Green at moments be quick. We saw Campbell being the fastest in second place, but lingering behind all those guys was Cody Reed and Jarrett Talmadge, and Presley Sora, our pole sitter, has been slowly inking his way through the field, who now runs in third. I'm curious if Sora's got enough pace in that 12 machine to really fight for our top two.
It is possible. I tell you what, I mean, you know, if I'm Cody Reed here, I feel like I'm in the best position ever. This track has been so tough to get the leader all night long. I think if you're Cody Reed,
I know we're running out of laps
16
here, but let's try to avoid
really
that
just
in
great
Iowa.
qualifying. And
Avoid a wreck
if you can
test
do
here.
that, in my opinion, not make too many mistakes, you
Try to
should
get
be able to
through this
hold this
thing.
all together. He's going to have some tough competition, of course. We had
You
Presley
mean
Sora,
Cody
like I said.
shouldn't
He's
wreck
driven himself
Jarrett?
up here into the mix. It's going to be
What
a
if I
mixy
wreck Cody
one,
to
but
get back at him
if
for
I'm
wrecking
Cody
Thomas?
Reed, I feel
Big
like
brain.
I'm in the best position to go out there and get
What?
over victory. If you're Reed, you know the nerves are starting to probably kick in now.
Interesting.
Talon Drake, Mark Whitley, both have called it a
Yeah,
night.
I was
Mark
putting
Whitley,
the
our
cards on
stage
the
winner.
table.
At least he got the stage bonus points. He'll take that as an advantage. But Cody
Okay,
Reed up
so
front, I mean,
one
Jack,
another
the pressure he always puts on himself each and every week, it was for seasons on seasons. Cody would always vent out and say, I'm winning this race. I think this might be the first race in a long time. I haven't heard Cody say that to me personally, that he's going to win this race. But here tonight, the cards have fallen. We'll see if it lines up as we're up to 15 laps to go for the big dog dash by Jack and Archie. Cody Reed leads. He's got a good gap as Jared Talmadge going to be under pressure on the outside. It's Joshua Freed trying to push forward as Reed's got the run off of the exit of turn 2.
Here they go. It's 3 wide farther back is Yingling. He's getting under threat.
Thomas Green gets spun around. Rest of the field does the apron to avoid. That's another caution for Cody Reed.
I don't know what happened. By the time I was exiting the middle
more
and
cautions.
going to the exit of the corner, the rear end just absolutely gone. Kind of like Kyle Larson.
Exactly right, Sam. The more cautions, the more he just needs to have good resources like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we made any contact, but
Had to mention that,
such a
I don't think we did. I think
moment here back here is Thomas Green in the back now in C-Pit. I think it might have been some echo between him and Vincent Sawyer.
Yeah, hopefully if we can make it more than 2 corners, but I guess I can
different angles.
I wrecked
It really was a
everything.
weird concept.
5 feet was the first lap.
And this is a different incident, but
Probably
Thomas
would help
Green
get a better restart too.
and Vincent Sora, that was some major
Try to
net
pack
code
up
between
even
the
with
two
them a little
drivers.
bit
We'll see
better.
from an aerial
You're
view, and
usually about
again, net code,
front end or
when there's
half
an
a width
invisible
back.
contact and a vehicle just reacts abnormally. We call it net code right there. There was space between the vehicles. If there was actual contact, that would be the reaction these vehicles would make, but that was some major net code, almost a foot distance between the vehicles.
Here. I'm trying to win.
It's going to be Thomas Green spun around for himself.
Presley, give me more tips and I'll
Such
take
a
them
tough
out for
break
you if I
after
get
having
you.
a great run like he was here tonight. And
Cody, whatever you
kinda
do
was
here,
up in the mix
don't
for
wheel
the majority of the
spin
night till
and don't
those
lose it in front
green
of the
flag
field.
pit stops happen.
And definitely don't spin
Again,
right.
re-rack them here. Still Talmadge in second. Still
Left
Presley
spin,
Sora
left spin,
third.
left.
It has been a wild one as you can look at the race
All right, man, I
report.
gotta
10
hop off.
cautions tonight.
We're about
for
to get
laps.
caught.
See you
Had
later.
it
Eight
reckoning part 3.
And I tell you, it's been
you know what?
it's been
We can be here
a
next
wild
Last
one.
time I ended
Great
the
car.
I'm
It
pretty sure
certainly
you
has.
shoved
I
me
mean,
out of
Arrows
one
dominating
step
driver,
back
driver that
corner.
led the most last
All right,
Mark
man.
Whitley
Later,
now
later.
out of this race. Cody Reed, who's just
All we
been
know is Nick.
trying to have his best run
Things are
possible,
open.
finds
And
himself
then I
in
found
the
him in there.
lead. Joshua Freed, biggest mover of the night,
Anyone
up
with a
25
reason
positions
to
from where he
wreck Cody,
started, currently
say aye.
runs 4th. There's a lot of drivers here
Aye.
this evening that are trying to recover some type of a good run,
Aye,
if
aye.
possible. For those Joshua Stovall fans, Stovall is back at a pit road trying to get those optional damage done. He's currently running back
Martin
in that
still holds a
15
grudge for
to
like, what was that,
16,
Michigan in
15
season
to
2
19
for season 1.
pack that's been trying to get repairs done as quickly as possible. But it looks like a top 15
That
run
was my
is
fault. I
the
just feel
story
like the
for
shadow
the
bar.
42 Brown machine. But up front, looking at other drivers have been up
I
front.
think Thomas
John
is the
Forbes
only
is in 7th place.
driver who would say
Justin
I
Campbell in 9th.
for anything
Vincent Sora
recently.
11th. I mean, Zach, if we stay green, I think Forbes might have a chance. Campbell, if he's super aggressive, might have an opportunity to climb up front. But I think this is just down to our top 5 on who's going to win this race.
I'd have to agree. I think you got to be up there. You know, Forbes has done a good job to really maneuver himself forward, but he does have the oldest set of tires compared to anybody. You know, he pit a few laps before that as that caution finally did come out. Now, it was only a few laps before, so it shouldn't be too bad for Forbes because we've seen tonight new tires haven't mattered that much when it comes to a small gap in between tires, and it really takes that long run to really get the tires the super bit of fall off to happen. But man, I think like you said
Time
is
to
very
go and
right.
take the
Top
green
5
flag.
is where they're going to be fighting unless something major happens and it allows someone new to get in that top 5. Of course, you know, we could go into this next restart and 3 of the top 5 could be out of it, and then you never know. John Forbes and Vince Soros, others like that could have a shot. So we'll have to see if something like that was to happen. But if you're Cody Reed, you just got to get another good restart. He did excellent on that last one to get out there. It was completely, you know, just gap in the field while everybody else was racing. If you're Reed, this is the moment you've been waiting for, Sam.
Trying to get another good launch and honestly trying to assist Joshua Freed pull alongside him has been a great call of 25. But if you're just joining us here tonight, it's on to be joining. If you've been watching for a while, might want to share this race because we are coming down to the end of this thing. Who will win the Big Dog Dash by Jack and Archie, Ollie Fonseca's Golden Retriever sponsoring tonight's race? As the drivers here this evening, a couple of them bringing out some special dog-themed schemes. But overall this evening, it has been a wild one. We've seen our favorites of Mark Whitley be taken out by our most recent caution. But up front, Cody Reed, Jared Talmadge, Presley Sora, Joshua Freed, and Nick Crawford get ready to take us to this next restart. Thank you so much to everyone that's been patient with us. I know it's been a long race, But the field knows we are in crunch time. Just a few more restarts or this could be the last one. We have yet to find ourselves to go into overtime at Dover at all in the past. We'll see if tonight's the calling night for this series. Is it going to be Cody Reed pulling away from here on out? Get ready. The drivers are pulling those belts. They're ready to get back to green flag action. Pace car is about to make the hard left-hander to pit road.
Green, let's go.
Your ISRC Larry R Production Truck Series Season 7, race number 5, about to conclude. Will it be 5 for 5 on poles and race winners on difference? We'll find out. Cody Reed is back underway. Green flag is out of the air. Rest of the field trying to catch up to that 25, but Joshua Freed, a much cleaner start. They're side by side for second as the 25 pulls away.
Big restart for Joshua Freed there, but it's able to clear the 10 of Jared Thomas. Now Freed racing Presley Soar. You also got the 38 of Christopher Lewis here in the mix. As he's trying to break into the top 5, but he's going to spin to 39.
Freed goes around. Norris gets caught up in it as they continue to race forward. And it's another caution as bad as with 10 laps to go. Make it 9. We're on another shootout. And for Joshua Freed, that one's got to hurt. He got a fabulous restart, but just gets ran over. I don't know if he got ran over or he stepped loose, but Norris was trying to get by him as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit of a run over here as he
saw 12. Gets tapped up into...
Yeah, the 12 is kind of pushing the 39 up. The 38 is kind of washing out to the outside to get to his quarter panel.
Do you have Ethernet connected to it?
That's just two things going wrong for Freed there. One to get run in the back and one getting shoved up the track. Really nothing that 39 could do. And like you said, just a heartbreaker for him because he's had some really close runs to finishing up in the the top 3 before, and tonight it's just not going to happen.
Presley Soar just being a hardcover book. Start of the race had some issues with blinking that caused the first wreck, and then late having blinking issues that caused another wreck at the end. And now going to be seeing that 12 again. Blinks, and then gets another 39, and Joshua Freed, who was running so cleanly, was keeping himself out of trouble, just gets ran over. And that's what it's like being up front late in these races. It is nowhere safe. You're going to be used up, and that was getting used up a little bit more than you would like to see.
That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it hurt Christopher Norris more than it hurt really any, other than, of course, Freed. It hurt Christopher Norris just as much with his incident there. I mean, he's come down to pit road, having to get work done on the truck, so his chance of a top 5 out the window. Now Reed in full control still once again. Less green flag laps for him, but still these caution laps, they give you time to think and kind of psych yourself out. I mean, it's sometimes it's a helper, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it can bring that heart rate down, sometimes it brings it up. So we'll see how Reed is able to attack these next few restarts, but he's been picture perfect so far. I don't think you should have any big worries.
And with one Snowy Desert Racer out, 2 more show up. John Forbes as well as seeing Nick Crawford. They'll slot themselves inside of our top 5. Going to be in 4th place is Nick Crawford. 5th going to be John Forbes. And now Cody Reed's got another tough decision. Do you continue to restart on the outside and have your teammate of Nick Crawford follow you through, or do you go on the inside and change things up to try to stall back your teammates? That's we've seen at Dover in the past. Team efforts, teamwork has really helped some drivers get a win for the first time in a couple of years. I think back to the WSSR with Lucky Ducks, seeing Douglas Newbiggin grab one of his first ever wins in that series and having a 1-2-3 finish with Lucky Ducks kind of playing a little bit defense against the rest of the field. And maybe that's what Cody Reed needs here, is have his teammate follow through and try to battle for that second place position.
I'd have to agree. I mean, this is going to be it's going to be a wild moment. I went back and looked at it too. Cody Reed in the past here has never got an oval victory. Does have 1 victory here at ISRC. It was at Watkins Glen. He has 7 second place finishes, but 6 of those 7 second place finishes are on ovals. So he is definitely looking to break that trend, Sam, and get his first oval victory. And I think, it was special for him to get that victory at Watkins Glen, no doubt, with the first time. Getting that done is always great. But I think this one could mean even that much more to him, because winning on an oval is just, you race majority oval. So it's a huge checkbox that you want to check off. And if he could do it tonight, Reed's going to be ecstatic.
I love the comment that was just put in. Cody Reed's dad, Lenny Reed, just put in chat. Cautions aren't helping Cody's dad's heart rate. Lol. Yeah, it's not helping your heart rate. But I can say, for Cody, this has been the best thing for him. He's got teammates that want to see Cody succeed. This has been I think a wide league thing to see the 25 grab this oval win. He has been fighting for it. He's been wanting it. That road course win, like I said, just getting your first felt so good. That was a winning week. He won his first ever league race and then won his first ISRC race at the Watkins Glen a few seasons back. But a first oval win, and to find yourself locking yourself into the playoffs, what a critical feeling this could be. If you're a Joshua Stoll fan, he's only back in 18th position. He's been getting those damage repairs done, and he's still got a little bit more repairs to work with, but another caution might help him out to try to move forward. We lost Jesse Thornick with connection problems, so that leaves us with 18 drivers on the lead lap. This could be one of our final restarts of the evening, but if we get a caution before the white flag, we are heading to overtime. We got 3 attempts if needed. But let's see if Cody Reed can finish this race out under green. Got to correct myself. We did go to overtime in the past. Back in season 3, they went into overtime. That was when Ollie Fonseca grabbed his first ever career win here in the ISRC Truck Series. Will Cody Reed be another driver to get into victory lane for his first oval win? Well, everyone else behind had a wheel spin. Reed got the launch that he needed.
He got a great launch, and Nick Crawford, his teammate, now fighting on the outside of Derek Talmadge. This is what Reed wants to see. He can go down the back straightaway as all the others behind him continue to brawl.
Brawling back and forth, and it's the teammates, the Snowy Desert Racing, that are trying to fight back if possible, but Nick Crawford's tires are fading away. It's going to be Presley Sora breaking loose. The teammates get side by side. They keep it straight. It's now going to be 4 laps to go. Cody Reed, Jared Talmadge going to be the first 2 in line. Talmadge breaks loose.
On, dude.
Track snaps loose again. Presley snaps loose. It's now Snowy Desert. 1, 2, and fighting for 3. Cody Reed is pulling away.
This could be his moment, Sam. Right here, coming to 3 laps to go. Only less than 3 miles for him, and it's a 1, 2, 3 for Snowy Desert Racing. As Campbell now fighting the likes of Presley Sora. What will Forbes do? He looks like he's feisty, trying to get past his teammate for second.
They're trying to push forward now. Is it team order? Stay in line, defend, be the gunners for Cody Reed, or do you fight for every position you want? If you're John Forbes, Nick Crawford, you know what it's like to taste the win this season already. You're trying to get your other Snowy Desert Racing teammate into victory lane. They'll cover up both lanes. 2 laps to go for Cody Reed.
Reed loving what he's seen in the mirror, Sam. He's got his teammates fighting, and the gap is growing. Here is now Forbes to the inside, caution's out.
Caution, we're going to overtime as Reed just exited out of 4. He saw the white flag in hand, and instead, we reset. We're going back. It's Dakota Moniz who spins out.
Oh, man.
How do you think I felt at Iowa, buddy?
The whole perplexion of this race, and that is
Dude, I get it, man.
tough to see. Is I think just going to be a simple mistake. Simple mistake here. As the 5's going to come out of 4 here. It's not going to be where he gets loose this time, but out of 2 on this next lap, the 5 Dakota Moniz is going to just unfortunately lose the rear end of the truck. And with 2 coming to 1 to go, Reed is going to have to deal with another restart.
As see the 5 just loses it.
I wish I had a heart monitor right now. I'd get like 15 billion.
And loops it around.
Yeah, I'm the one that's spun out, dude, so you can text me.
Over the radio, ever since the yellow flag has been woven, he has been furious over the radio channel. All drivers have radio channels that they can communicate between each other. Not able to give that out to the audience. Sometimes they go a little bit overboard with the language, but Cody Reed at this time is just in a full panic. What some kids would say now, crashing out. He is in a full just panic mode. You can hear in his voice, just worried about this restart now, as now he's in the worry of, Zach, this is another restart. Justin Campbell's closer. Presley Sora, the aggression level is there. I don't think this restart is a safe go and you're clean, because Nick Crawford, John Forbes, they have to get a clean restart as well.
That's right. I mean, and the thing is, you've been restarting on the top side this whole time. You're probably going to continue that, and that's going to allow the 9 to line up behind you. So that does give an opportunity for Campbell, and we know Campbell, he's been quick tonight. He's been, if not the second best truck, one of the top 3 trucks all single night. So it's going to be wild, and we'll see what Reed does, but I think you got to take the outside groove. It's just been the best restarting spot all night. I know he's upset about that
car
caution,
number
but he's
4.
still in a prime position. He's got his 2 teammates behind him. They have to do a lot of work to get to him if they want to get around his 2 teammates.
Yeah, Nick Crawford, John Force, they both have already won this season. John Force won Daytona, the start of the season. Nick Crawford won 2 weeks ago in our last race, and Cody Reed wants to become the 3rd Snowy Desert Racing driver to win this season, if possible.
Joshua, your truck
there are some hungry
looks like some of
wolves
the
behind
FedEx
them.
trucks we have
Yeah,
at our
Vincent Soares
warehouse.
trying to close in on this gap, but you know, besides Cody Reed,
I can only
from
imagine.
the spectacular run, because of the time of the yellows, it's kind of lined up for
I would
25
like
to be in
to
this
apologize
position.
for my
I'm
crash
looking back
out
at 6th place.
a couple minutes ago.
I mean, Zach
I
earlier in
just
the
get a
season
little
was talked to
passionate
Samuel Garcia with some
and I
pretty
would like to
decent finishes
apologize
for
to you
himself.
all.
The 50 machines in for a top 10 with the fact that he stayed out. The 50 is looking good right now.
We're just going to try to limp this
It
thing
really
home,
is.
brother.
I mean, heck of a job by Samuel Garcia. This could
Reasonable
be
crash out.
one of his best runs ever in his career, and especially at a tough racetrack like
Ollie,
this.
if you
He's done
can,
an
if you
excellent
can
job.
like
Sora's made
get
his way
your
back to
team
7th,
leader
so
at Rev to
I
like
know
give me
Sora,
a call
he's
right
gonna
now,
be
yeah, I'll choose
out
the
there
inside.
risking it for the biscuit. Same with his
Shut
brother
up.
Presley, who's in 5th. So gonna be wild to see, but we're gonna
I
see
called him 50
if
good,
Reed
50
can
bottom.
hold this off, Sam. I mean, I think he's got this, no doubt. He's got it in the bag, but anything can happen,
Follow
folks.
car
It's a
number
3
24.
green-white
Okay,
checkers
Dakota,
possible,
get ready.
so
Race will resume
we
at the
could
end of
see
this lap.
up to another 2 restarts after this one, so it's not over yet.
It certainly is not. Some drivers know that it is a long time trying to get into victory lane, and especially in the ISRC Truck Series, where you gotta be mentally there. You gotta be just placing yourself in a position to get into victory lane. But this has been a tough race for a lot of drivers. The handling of these vehicles has just gone away for some. I mean, we've been in this run. We've had, you know, the cool down cycles when these tires get cooled off, the truck gets extremely loose, and everyone knows every corner is a risk at this point of the race. Well, if you're just joining us for the first time, you've never seen an overtime attempt, well, it will be a 2-lap shootout. It's called the green, white, checkered. Once we take the green, you got 1 lap to complete it. If you take the white flag, then this race becomes official. But under that first lap, if a caution flag is thrown with a wreck,
We're pretty
then we
broken
will
here,
head to our
Norris.
second
Just
time,
heads up.
our second overtime attempt. Luckily,
Good,
these
I'm
drivers,
even one
they
time.
know
Be good.
those first 2 attempts are possible. If we get to the 3rd, the rules are slightly different. If we get to the 3rd,
Green
we'll
flag, we're
explain
racing.
that slightly
Okay,
different
Dakota,
rule.
we're in the lucky dog
Otherwise,
position
for
right
Cody
now.
Reed, he wants this to be the last restart of the evening. Can we
high
complete
side.
1 lap, get to the white flag, and race to the end? Let's find out. Cody Reed, Justin Campbell, they take off. The 9's on the back bumper, and it's going to be equal footing for second place. Nick Crawford needs to get by the 9, but Cody Reed trying to scamper away as they exit turn 2.
Oh man, Campbell's gonna have a great run here coming out of 2. He's side by side, but he gets into the wall. That opens up the door now for Forbes as they come into 3 and 4.
Cody Reed looking for the white flag. Everyone else behind. Can they make it off the exit at turn number 4? Reed looks to the flag stand. He sees the white flag. We take the white flag. This race is official. Cody Reed is just trying to continue his marks. Hit every spot. Your teammates are boxing in the 9. Cody Reed, he's fought all season long. 1, 2, finally. It's been a long journey for the 25, but finally, an oval winner. Cody Reed wins here at Dover.
What a job from Reed, and it's going to be Crawford second for a 1-2 for SDR. They come close to the 1-2-3 as Campbell is going to steal 3rd, but so many times 6th place finish, 6 second place finishes at over.